Same time as last time.
Okay.
Oh, do you have an agenda, Jim?
I do, yeah, I do.
All right, I got one here. All right, so do we wanna take a look at the minutes? I do have one question on the minutes.
Okay, did I
I
miss
don't
a?
know, it just says used market. It's like you lost
Oh, I
your train of
probably-
thought. Someone interrupted you.
Probably, yeah.
So-
That can just be, yeah, that's, give everyone a chance to go through them.
Yeah,
It's really hard to proofread your own work,
yeah,
because you think everything, that was on the F-550?
yeah.
Okay. Oh, I know what I meant to put in there, and I must have,
Yeah.
when I formatted it, I must have lost it. Used market is, highly competitive, I think is what I wanted to put there.
Okay,
Because we talked about getting a used one, and, so what it, used market is, I think I put is possible but highly, highly competitive.
okay.
So when everyone has a chance, I'll make that proposal. Oh, you know what? No, that's in the next section. Obtaining a used sweeper is possible but not very competitive. What I meant to say on this one, the F-550, used market is not a good option, is what I meant to say there. Because we did talk about that, and the used market
Yeah, I was trying to
is
find-
not a good option for superintendent. Because of the nature of the rigor that this vehicle would require and
Uh-huh.
superintendent. So I will make that.
Oh, you listed it as a 550 replacement, okay.
Well, it's an F-600.
Yeah, okay.
We're replacing a F-550 replacement. How did he list it? Is it F-600? I
Yeah,
probably should have
that's all right.
flipped that.
That's not the end of the world.
I could've put F-600. Because we weren't replacing the F-600, so I just went with that way. I could've flipped those two things, but
Yeah,
that's.
don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Where's the sewer stuff?
We'll go to just that one amendment.
Yeah, are you good, Dan, with things? So, we need to replace the open-ended sentence of used market with
Mhm.
used market is not a good option per superintendent.
Okay,
And so I'll make a motion to accept those minutes as amended.
is there a second? All in favor?
Don's Mistake, aye.
Richi Hacker, aye.
Ray Capaco, aye.
Okay, passes.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
All right, so we're up with the sewer department, so, okay, so one of these, why don't we go in order from what I have, so copper reduction is what I have first.
Okay.
So we determined that that was operational and not capital planning.
Okay. The reason I did do it this way was, this is something new to the plant
Mm-hmm.
that we'd be putting in, and the reason for it, we're getting mandated by DEP because they lowered our limits.
Okay.
So what I thought, and again, maybe I'm wrong, but we need to buy the pump and the initial batch of the chemical
Oh, okay.
for the process. Then at that point, it would be an ongoing cost. but the initial purchase of the pump and the supplies of something new, I thought would go under a capital.
Okay,
So
I guess that wasn't
which-
clear maybe.
Which one is the scum pump replacement?
Copper reduction.
Copper reduction.
So the pump isn't a separate project, that's under,
Yeah, that's a different pump,
No, those are two different pumps.
yeah.
This is just copper reduction, which is gonna require a diastolic pump and, particular chemical.
Is the
Mexclear.
pump over 25,000?
No, I don't think it will be.
Okay,
I think it's gonna be around 20, but
okay.
And then 26 for the chemicals,
36,
or 36?
yeah.
and that was a 2-year-old quote, so
Mm,
that's for a year.
Yikes. Oh, that's a lot.
which would be operational, those,
Right,
So could the pump have gone up? So our threshold is 25,000 for a
right.
piece of
No,
equipment?
pump may have gone up, I haven't priced them
Okay,
today, recently. I'm going by previous pumps that I purchased in the past.
okay, all right. So what is, anybody have an opinion on what to do with this one?
I mean, given the criteria, the pump isn't.
Unless the pump went up, right?
Yeah, because the capital project should be for the pump itself, not the,
Oh, okay.
that's my feeling, the pump itself, not for the, chemicals.
Okay,
I don't know, what's your feelings?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just based on the raw criteria of it. Yeah, Ralph, if this was a $25,000 pump,
Mhm.
we could include it under capital, otherwise we're gonna have to bump it to the finance committee or,
Well, I mean, the pump could be 25,000 from what I'm hearing. I don't know
Right.
if the chemicals aspect of it is maybe what the board is questioning, right?
Right.
yeah, because that's
Yeah.
ongoing expenses.
I haven't.
That would
spec'd
just
out
be
the pump.
folded into your budget then.
yeah.
I haven't spec'd out the pump only because I'm waiting for Ty and Bond to give me some information. I contacted them last week, they just got back to me today.
Okay,
We're gonna set up a meeting and decide what we should get for a pump, how
Okay.
big and whatnot.
okay,
So that's why I'm kind of,
So
on the
we keep
fence
this one
about-
on the
Could-
back burner?
Yeah, can we
Yeah.
put it as a contingent, just put a $25,000 stub in there for a pump? So pump
the
for,
moment, yeah.
and just change the title to pump for copper reduction.
yeah,
Cause that way you wouldn't have to be hit with the, if the project costs you 56,000 and the pump comes in somewhere in that $25,000 range, at least you're only hit with the operational side of it instead of the full price.
Mhm.
Is that fair, that sound reasonable?
mm-hmm,
And then we can revisit when there's more information about it,
Sure.
so.
yeah, so just when you get the price, then just, change the price and the, on the form, I guess, in the title, that would be fine.
When were you looking to replace the pump?
But it's not a replacement, it's a new
New.
addition.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, again, as soon as I can get the information I need from Ty and Bond, DEP is going to,
Yeah, this has to.
again, give us a little slap on the wrist and say, hey, you better get this going and get your copper to the new
and
unit.
how long will the project take once the pump is
I don't
ordered?
think it'll take more than a day or two to get the setup,
Oh, okay.
and then maybe a week or so before it gets into the system and starts doing what it should do.
Okay, and is there a backlog on the pump or anything, or are they
Not that
pretty
I'm
much?
aware of, no, they're pretty common,
Okay,
so I doubt there's a backlog.
okay,
Okay,
we'll just keep going on the back burner.
all right, so effluent chlorine alarm,
Right, that's another, thing that's been mandated. I've already taken the chlorine alarms and repaired both of those. This is down at the effluent building where we're injecting the SO2 to remove the chlorine before it goes into the river. There was an alarm there at some point in time, but it's completely useless. I mean, I opened the box the other day with a gentleman and it was nothing but a bunch of rusted components in there
mm,
and not functioning at all. So that has to be functional, and we have to have it.
Yeah,
And that's gonna require a wireless connection, because we don't have anything in the building, in our building, to let us know there's an alarm going off. It's external. So that's what I'm looking to do.
okay.
Is there capability for the Wi-Fi down there to function?
Yes. I talked to the guy, and he had a specific type of a setup that said he could easily do that.
And what's the turnaround time for that?
He was just there this morning, so he's gonna give me a proposal, and I'll be able to tell you then. I don't think it's gonna be a long time.
Is this also under the correction order from the DEP?
Mhm.
Is this included in the DEP correction order?
Yes.
Or- Okay.
Yes.
So high priority.
And it's just a 35,000 one-time install fee? There's no ongoing maintenance fees or
Correct.
anything? Okay.
Correct.
Any other questions on that one?
No?
All right,
Not from me.
scum pump replacement.
That's been a problem since I've been there. When I walked in, only one of the pumps was functional, and I tried to get parts and things to repair it, and everything is obsolete. I cannot buy any pump parts. For the two pumps that are in the pump room, in addition, I can't find a pump that matches the piping, the actual hookup. Everything has to be rearranged, because the inlet and the outlet are
Yeah.
in different places. So the pumps themselves, the newer pumps, I can get ready in pretty short order. We're not backlogged, I know that. And the installation cost is pretty heavy.
And that's included in this?
Excuse me?
The installation cost is included in this 85,000?
Yes,
Okay.
yep, yep.
Now, what's the risk of this not being replaced?
Well, if it doesn't replace, right now I've got one of the pumps working on a Band-Aid, basically. And if it does not work, or if they fail, then we don't ship any sludge out. It won't take it out of the thickener. That's where it's doing its work now. It's pumping the sludge from the thickener into the holding tank. And then we get it removed.
And you said one is working,
One is working.
and how many does it, do you?
There's two there. Everything has a backup there.
Okay,
Everything is duplicated.
okay.
That's the way they build the plants,
And the one that's working is Band-Aided together?
pretty much.
Okay.
I got a shaft collar in there. The shaft snapped internally, so I had a special shaft collar made, and that's what it's running with.
So essentially, you'll be looking for a second replacement for the backup?
You know, it's gonna go in as a pair.
Oh, this will
Oh.
replace both of them?
Okay,
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Because otherwise, we'd have two different types of piping going up there.
Okay.
all right, any questions on that one? Pump station truck replacement.
I recently had to put a considerable amount of money in our current truck. It's a 2009. The cab itself is in fair condition. The body of itself, the tool racks, are pretty well rusted through, you know, and one of the doors falls off when you open it. So that particular item was replaced from the old truck. When they got the new truck itself, they put the old utility body on this truck. So I don't really know how old the utility body is,
Okay,
but that was a price I got here. from the state authorized.
Yeah,
I mean, it's something that I put as a priority B because my other things that are mandated are certainly more important,
yeah, right,
for
okay.
sure.
Will the current truck limp along for a year or two?
I think it will, but I don't know how much money I'd leave to repair other things on it. You
Yeah.
know, the front end's starting to get loose. I just had to put a whole new exhaust system because the manifolds rusted through, the manifold bolts off the engine,
Okay.
and that was around 3,000, I think. And there's been a few repairs in it recently. Will it last? Yes, it will last, but again, how much repair work will I have to give
Yeah.
it, I don't know.
Do you know how much is in the sewer retained earnings?
I did not bring that with me, no, I did not have that.
We'll get that information too, because as an enterprise fund, they have their own retained earnings,
Right,
so some of the stuff might come off of there. Okay.
I wanna say a little over 300,000.
okay. Have you looked at a used truck maybe for this?
I haven't looked at it, no. But
Okay.
again, generally, when you get a truck like that, when you say used, it's used
Yeah.
very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's hard to find a decent truck that's,
Okay, so we'll say used is probably not a good
Used is
option.
not gonna be advantageous for the town, and the reason why is that we're gonna have to develop our own specs, we're gonna have to put it out to bid, and we're gonna have to, rely on people saying that they have, well, I have an F-350 with 23,000 miles on it, and I'm willing to sell the town for $70,000, and then somebody else will come in and say, it has to be the similar type of truck. It may not
Yeah.
be, because you have to compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges, because it's a lot different than just going off of the bid list and say, this is what I want with these options, and there's no guarantee that you're gonna get the likeness of everybody else and comparing it to that. One may have 20,000 miles, the other one may have 30,000 miles, may have similar equipment, maybe a little bit less, but how do you compensate that? How do you rate that? It's a little different than if you're going with
Just
a
buying a
new one off of a
So are
state
we
bid list.
buying a truck or are we buying a chassis for the body?
what this is for, the truck and its utility body,
It's a
Okay, so
utility-
utility body would-
complete system.
Is that what you currently have as an F-350?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's just replacing it,
Yep.
a strip
And
replacement.
that one, like I said, that's 15 years
Yeah,
old, so.
it's old, yeah.
Mm.
Do you know how many miles are on it, roughly?
Probably not that many
Not that
miles,
many, but
because
it's-
it doesn't go that far, but I'm gonna say maybe 40.
It's okay, it doesn't really matter, it's old and
This should be,
it sounds like there's significant repair costs already that,
Yeah,
this should be a replacement, not new.
yeah,
oh, yeah, okay.
With the retained earnings piece, they use some of their retained earnings to balance their books, so
Right.
we would have to, right now, I think it's, somewhere around the $300,000 mark, but, I don't know where they are gonna be with, trying to figure out how much they're gonna have to, set the rate at and what they're gonna need to raise to cover their expenses. Their budget has gone up, a little bit from last year to this year, so they're gonna have to make an adjustment for that.
Okay,
Yeah, but as an enterprise, they should be self-sustaining,
Yeah.
so that's the other thing to keep in mind.
when do you look at rates? Use sewer rates? Soon, okay, I couldn't remember when you, did you
Should
do
be-
that once a year, right?
Should be before July 1st.
Okay, all
And do
right.
you factor do you factor these type of costs into the rate,
We haven't been.
which might be a good idea?
You're still trying to catch up.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
there's
well,
only
we
so
are.
much you can
Yeah.
take from the town, so.
So, that's the other thing. I mean, it's not just always about, a lot of it has to do with the rate, but, looking to expand service, to get more customers on,
Yeah,
trying to increase, sewer connections, townwide, to support the enterprise fund is important.
mhm,
To try to get more people to pay into the system.
yeah. All right, any other questions on that one?
So we really don't have to go with a 24 month truck. You can go with a leftover year from 23 and probably get a cheaper rate.
Hmm. Yeah,
It should be something we look at.
okay,
If there's available, I don't know.
Okay, I don't know that
Yeah.
either.
I mean, there's always stuff that's available, hasn't been sold previous year, that they try and discount if you want to buy it.
Yeah, the only thing again with that is the specifications that I need for the truck. It wouldn't be something you'd get off the lot. I couldn't go to a Ford dealer that has a 23 or whatever standard pickup and buy that and then
Right.
modify it to my needs and
Right.
probably go well above the,
Yeah, no, what I'm saying is we look for the same truck, but if there is
oh, mhm,
a 2023 version model year earlier
mhm.
that's still brand new but hasn't been sold, it's still on the lot, that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
hmm. Okay. Replacement of bar rack.
Yeah. That's something that I feel should have been done when we worked on a school project.
Yeah,
That particular machine is OEM, and, well, put there when they built the factory. It's in terrible condition, and we do maintenance on it almost daily to make sure it's functioning properly.
mhm, okay,
And again, can't get parts, it's obsolete. I could probably get a machine, but at a cost.
right, yeah.
It's overdue.
And you can limp along for the moment with it? If we,
Yes, yes, I
I mean, it's
can.
priority B on here, so,
I can, but again, it's, maybe it should have been an A, I don't know.
yeah.
Uh, it- There's a lot of things there that are in very poor shape
Okay,
that need attention, and I'm just trying to get the right priorities and sequence to fix these things up.
right.
And
Okay.
that's critical, because if that breaks, you're gonna get all kinds of stuff going through the system with rags and wipes, and it's gonna jam up all the pumps and
Right,
be
okay,
not good.
yeah,
So if I can make a suggestion, when you sit with Ty and Bond for your new rates, to maybe talk with them about some replacements and some funds that you need to make these
Okay.
things happen,
Mhm,
so that you can get an accurate rate.
mhm.
And I know that we're still catching up, but it might be wise to at least have the conversation to see where that would be,
Yep.
so that we can,
Well, I priced one out, it was around, I think it was $78,000 or something for the bar rack itself, and then there's installation costs,
mhm,
which I estimated because it's pretty extensive by the time they get that out, and if they have to do any concrete work to fit the new one in,
okay,
so. But yes, I will talk to Ty and Bond. I'm going to be having a meeting with them soon in the near future
Yeah.
about the copper, so I can ask them about
yeah, I think it'd just be wise to include it in their rate assessment,
that. Mhm.
so.
do they update, so they did a rate assessment like, what, 5-ish
About,
years ago, maybe?
yeah, maybe about
They wanted us to
8
do
years ago.
15% at least per year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but do they update it every year, or it's still kind of a fixed
It's
schedule?
just that they did it ahead for a few years, and
Yeah,
that
okay,
was what they recommended.
all right,
So when are they due to come in again?
Pardon?
When are they due to come in again for another rate assessment?
They're not, EPA or DEP demanded we do that, and
Okay,
they did it for so many years, and
yeah, they did like a 20-year or something, right?
Yeah,
But
but
it's-
some of the years they didn't do it, even though they suggested the increase, they didn't participate in the increase, so now you still have to keep,
Yeah,
catching up.
Yeah. Cause maybe it needs some tweaking, like Dawn's saying, you know,
Exactly.
add some of these in
A lot
and
of
see where,
tweaking.
see where it's going now,
Yeah.
you know? Okay. All right, so I think, get back to us on the pump for copper reduction,
Okay.
and I think, that's it for the moment, right?
Hey, do you have the closed caption TV for the sewer lines, the main sewer lines?
No,
Sorry. And that's, again, mandated by the DEP. I'm sorry,
I didn't even get this, no, no.
I don't know why. Maybe I did it at a later time.
so is this a current, sort of order or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I've got that right here, under document.
And this is different than, you've already got that camera.
Right, it is different.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah. That's that camera that we have being very useful, but this is actually a documented type of a project where the DEP requires certain documentation to go along with it.
Okay. So this is paying for, so is this a service though?
That would be a service, I guess you could call it a service,
Okay.
but they have the specialized equipment also.
Right, but you're not buying any equipment. Okay.
No.
So I don't know if this is gonna be capital planning then.
No, they
Right,
probably
I
wouldn't be.
don't think so.
If you were purchasing the equipment, then it would be.
I
But
see.
since it's a service, I think it would just be a budgeted item.
Do you have money, for that this year, any access?
This year, probably not.
Where are we with the trains? Not the,
I have the permits, and that's another thing, costs $175 anytime that I go onto the railroad tracks. I have a form that I have to fill out, which is
Mhm.
pretty extensive, and when they get that, they charge us.
yeah. What about the other trains, the train four?
It's close,
We may have enough to do it?
yeah.
All right, let me know when they're,
Is there any possibility for grants for any of this? Are there any grants available for any of this? For the
I'm not aware of any.
DEP? Okay.
I'm not aware. I did look around. I didn't see anything that was within the realm of what I'm looking for. So,
All right.
Okay.
so the closed captioning probably wouldn't be part of this committee's
okay.
purview. Be just a regular budgetary
Maybe that's
item.
why I didn't put it in.
Yeah.
there.
Don't we have a deadline on that?
Yeah, we do. We have deadline on all of this stuff.
Do you want this back, Ralph? Do you want this back, or do you have another copy?
I have it on computer.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Okay. There's no further questions? I think we're all set?
Great,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much.
Thanks, Ralph, thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Yeah, you
Okay,
too,
thank
take
you.
care, Ralph.
Ralph?
I am. Okay, so let's dive into the worksheet then. Everybody got a copy from Dawn. It looks pretty good.
Can I look on with you?
Huh?
If I could look on with you, I didn't
Yeah.
print anything out, so.
So she took Dan's numbers columns and added them to the sheet, and then took my original ratings and made that the second tab. And then you filled in the categories according to what we
What we discussed.
discussed.
And I changed the project funding fiscal impact to include the operate, maintain, insure. That line that we had talked
Yeah,
about last week.
okay, all right,
Yeah. And then those are the ratings that we had discussed.
yeah. So the only comment I had was this priority column,
Mhm.
I would say breaking out the constants, like the 2.49,
I can play with those as,
into, kind of like these are. So, in case somebody wants to change them around, it's easy to change them around without changing the formula.
oh, I just changed the first one and then copy it down.
I know,
Yeah,
but some people may not. Plus, you can mess up the formula.
okay. Well, that I didn't know how we wanted those A, B, and Cs to actually be.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm
Um,
saying, then you,
yeah.
if they're up here in a way that's easy to change them,
Yeah.
then,
Yeah, I can most certainly do that.
so why don't you explain what your, thought was on the priority column?
Okay, so the thought on the priority column was to calculate across, the rating times the percentage for, the rating times the percentage for each, category, and then add them up as a total.
Mm-hmm.
And then the priority, essentially whatever the total is, we would assign, if it's over a 2, it's a priority A, if it's over a 3, it's a priority A, whatever we want to decide,
Yeah.
what those benchmarks are for A, B, and C, that priority column will flow to the projects page, so page A, and you'll get your priority right on page A.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we can see in total what projects we have outstanding and where the priorities are, and then we can sort based on whatever we wanna sort on. And then I put at the top of the projects page, the free cash that we have available. That was as of March 31st, and then the capital stabilization balance as of March 31st. So we know how much funding we have right now. Now just keep in mind that free cash is only available till June 30th. And then we have to wait until we get recertified for free cash in October.
Okay,
So if we don't spend that by June 30th, it gets rolled back into the calculation for next year's, but there's a holding period that we can't spend it, if we don't already have it, reserved.
okay.
So, but I just put that there so we could see kind of what we're looking at funding. And then down below, sorry. Down below I have funding mechanisms, so we could put in the, funding mechanisms as a code. So CSA would be capital stabilization, SSA is special stabilization, like for fire. We set aside for the engines in a special stabilization account, free cash, raise and appropriate, grants, and other. And,
Okay.
then I kind of just totaled it so we could total the use of the funding, so we can kind of just be in balance with where are we looking at for 25, FY 25, how much are we looking at spending? What do we have on there for the docket, and how can we distribute that among the funding mechanisms, and do we have it available?
Yeah, okay.
So that's where I was going with that page.
So the question about the sewer department, I wonder if we wanna, when we get this sheet sort of settled, do we wanna make a separate sheet for them? Because they should be
That's,
their own, like,
yeah.
self-sufficient entity, right?
They should be, I mean, that's what an enterprise is, they are self-sustaining.
I mean, otherwise
the
you'd have to
unfortunate-
add, you know, their, what did you call it? It's not their free cash. the-
Retained earnings.
Retained earnings, yeah.
Yeah, but that's why I put the other category there too, because they could fall into other.
Oh, okay.
Well,
But we can,
Sewer has had articles before on town meeting, haven't they?
Yeah, but-
usually to take out of their retained earnings.
Okay.
They usually don't take from stabilization or capital or.
Right, that's my
yeah.
point with breaking
They-
them off into their
Mhm.
own.
Mhm.
I mean, we
Because
could mix them in if we really need to, but ideally,
I don't
We
think that
would-
they're gonna have enough to cover it. That's the issue.
yeah,
And, I mean, my feeling about sewer is they should be covering their own costs.
right.
However, if it's DEP, if it's
We don't have a
mandated,
choice.
the town's gonna be on the hook for
Yeah.
more than just the cost of this equipment. We're gonna be on the hook for fines, because obviously sewer department's not gonna be able to sustain those fines.
Okay, so which are the ones, copper reduction is a DEP. Effluent
Chlorine is a must.
is a DEP.
Yeah.
The scum pump, I don't think,
I don't think so.
the truck is not,
And the bar rack is not.
No.
bar rack is not. And the CCTV, he's gotta do on his own.
He said that was part of the,
Yeah,
the DEP, but it's a service, not a
Yeah.
capital
Okay,
project anyway. So I think the only two that we're looking at possibly funding is the sump pump, the pump for copper reduction and the effluent chlorine alarm.
so potentially we're talking about,
Bar-
$60,000.
What's the-
Assuming that the pump ends up 25-ish, right?
Yeah,
We already know the effluent chlorine alarm is 35.
I'm gonna tell you right now that the price is gonna be way off on the chemicals. The chemicals have increased.
Yeah,
That's,
But that's
still
operational.
operational cost
So-
for them.
Yeah,
we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I mean, I know they need the scum pump replacement done. I mean,
But maybe, so maybe what we can suggest is that the town takes these two, the mandated ones, because we gotta do it. And then the
that would
other
leave them
stuff-
with $350,000 of request.
Mhm.
And you thought their retained earnings is somewhere in that range?
somewhere around 300,000.
I don't think we can empty it though, but
Oh.
and
Right.
they
They can
usually
use some of it.
that to
Right.
plug, to.
But he,
to
so
their
he
budget.
punts the truck for a year, I know, I mean, it sounds like he needs it replaced, but,
But
Well,
you also have to keep in mind that they're gonna have to probably use some of their retained earnings to balance their budget.
Yeah,
oh, okay,
Right, right,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So that,
they always do.
okay,
But maybe, I mean, the scum pumps are 85. So that'll take some of that money off,
Mhm.
but it's not gonna devastate it.
Mhm.
So maybe they can do that this coming fiscal year.
yep. What's the situation with this bar rack? I just, like, what is it?
it catches all the debris that comes into the system ahead of time, so it doesn't go
Okay.
in and destroy all the pumps.
Yeah,
It's like a sieve,
yeah, okay.
and then it
Okay.
has like a comb thing,
Yep.
and it pulls up and dumps
Okay.
all the,
So it's part of
junk
the,
into
it's
a
part of the
barrel.
whole plant operation.
oh yeah.
And what was the nature of it again? That it was in disrepair, or just that it's at end of
It's
useful life?
obsolete, it was original equipment, it's seen its lifetime,
Okay.
its life expense is pretty much.
When was the plant built, in 60-something?
I mean, Ralph indicated this should have been done a long time ago,
Yeah.
and they haven't used their retained earnings to do it yet.
I know.
So it almost sounds like they're coming after the town to get the town money to do it, because
Well,
capital planning's back. So,
Well,
I mean,
but
if
we're-
it should have been done a long time ago, they should be,
I know,
they should have been planning for
but
it.
that
Yeah.
wasn't happening.
Exactly,
I mean, they weren't even charging the right user fees to support the operation.
right, and I know that's kind of where
So
they're at
capital purchases were way below even what
Mhm.
they could think about, right?
still. Absolutely.
So. So if the town did those two, maybe they do the scum pump FY '25, maybe they do the, bar rack.
And save the truck for last.
Yeah, do
Yeah,
the
the
bar
truck-
rack in '26. Well, I mean, he could decide one or the other, but
Yeah, I think the two that are
so we would
DEP,
do FY '25, and that would be town FY '25. scum pump would be FY '25 retained earnings. And then these would come later,
I mean, it's up to them to
the other
do
ones.
retained earnings,
Yeah.
you know, that's up on them too. But I think if we don't help them with the mandated ones, the town's gonna be
Yeah.
on the hook for a lot more,
Yeah, that's, yeah.
um,
Yeah, it falls in.
unfortunately.
Once you start getting citations, and
Mhm.
if it's not met by a certain date, then it's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, I
it's
mean,
not worth,
anything that happens down at the sewer plant, catastrophic, it's the town's
ultimately
responsibility.
the town.
So, you know, I realize it's a enterprise fund for now, but at the end of the day, if something happens down there, the town's gonna have to pay.
Yeah. So what we
So
can,
why don't we go for those first two mandates?
yeah,
And let's include in our spreadsheet, because again, I agree, it shouldn't be on there, but, like you're saying, Jim, we have to at least have it on our radar. Whether we weight it appropriately, that we actually offer them some more money beyond these mandates, we can make that determination later, but we should probably include it in the spreadsheet.
okay.
Not the
Maybe
truck,
once they're on.
not the truck. I mean, we can
Yeah.
put it on there, but I'm not gonna rate it. It's gonna get a
Well,
low,
it can get a low rating. you
it
know,
get a low
that-
rating, right, that's what I mean. When
Yeah.
I say I'm not gonna rate it, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna give it a real
Like a
priority.
C or D
Yeah,
or whatever.
So maybe
But-
once they're through some of these, then again, maybe we do a separate sheet with their retained earnings as the income or the
Right.
funding with grants and whatever else, and they're separate then,
Right.
not mixed in with town stuff.
So are you saying just do them completely, do a second worksheet for
Well,
sewer?
Maybe
Or do
not
we
right
inc-
now, not right
Yeah.
now, but
But, so for,
let's say 3 or 4 years from now.
oh, next year.
Okay,
I'm not looking to keep them on there, like, cause I think we're
Okay.
pretty much agreed that they shouldn't be on here at all.
right,
But, given the current circumstances where they haven't
Yeah.
done any capital planning, the town hasn't been doing any capital planning to kind of help nudge them. But of course, the clear communication should be to them that we're willing to help out with the mandates, but they really need to dig
Yeah.
deep to handle some of these other things that are their responsibility.
yeah. So if we put all this into the current spreadsheet,
Right.
then later on, when we break it out.
We can pull it back
we
out,
just, we have all the info there,
okay?
right?
You good with that, Dylan?
Yes.
Yeah, you think,
So this year,
does that sound reasonable, Dan?
25,
So I can put those ones in red, like these
Yeah.
ones in red down below, there's problems with them.
Oh, yeah, I apologize, they're already there, I forgot.
They are here, but I can change them because, like, obviously, the copper reduction one's gonna be 25,000, and it's gonna now not be operational. But the incomplete requests I have on there, everything that was turned in, I have on here. I just put it in red.
Yeah,
And we can change,
So-
so I can change that around for what we talked about today, unless you wanna do it right here.
No,
But
that's fine.
I can do it on my master copy and resend it
Yeah.
out once we have everything that we discussed today.
yeah, you do have it already.
So if I'm reading this correctly, we have over $3 million in requests for capital projects.
That is correct.
Yes.
Total,
Total,
Total.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's quite a
but
bit.
for
yeah.
FY '25, it
We got-
seems we have 1.3.
Yeah,
That's arbitrary, I'm not sure.
Oh,
That-
there's your 3 million, yeah.
So even 1.3 is a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm
Anything I
not, yeah,
didn't
I'm not
know.
saying it isn't, but yeah.
Anything I didn't know, we didn't discuss, I put in 25.
Mhm,
So
okay.
some stuff we didn't discuss, and
It's
I
kind of
just.
front-loaded.
Yep.
Yep.
So, okay, so sewer, that's what I'll put these
But I think
in
it's
there.
good that we see that, you
Yep.
know, we've got $3 million worth of capital requests. That's a lot, you know,
Yeah.
for a smaller town. So, you know, it's important to look at these and to try to analyze these.
Okay, so what do we need? Let's go back. we're good with police. Police was pretty easy.
Mhm.
We're good with highway. And fire probably, right?
I think we discussed all of them, right?
And we just got the treatment plant, and we need an update from the treatment plant on one thing, right?
Mhm.
Have we gone through the senior center?
I
Did
don't,
we talk about senior center?
I don't think
wanna
since
say
they
we
gave us the new
did not.
information.
Yeah, we had some new information, right?
And selectmen too,
Yeah.
right? Okay. There were a few from senior center that we didn't get back though.
Right, I only got a couple,
Yeah. So I kept them in the,
the roof
I
and
don't have anything from, oh, here it is.
everything else in the
last
report.
one we did consolidate.
Roof and the heating and cooling.
Yeah, I only have 2 completed.
Yeah, roof and heating and cooling, that's all you, that's
Yeah.
all.
Heating and cooling
And then a
and roof.
quote or an estimate from somebody on the roof. Well, okay, so the question is, do we need
So heating
more
and,
info, or?
so heating and cooling, I can address that. I've been working on, a grant with Green Communities for the senior center. And Green Communities, representative came out, did an analysis of the senior center recently. And they are talking about, heat pumps, okay? And there's a grant that through Green Communities that will fund heat pumps. They're expensive, but they will fund it through Green Communities. So there's a potential of us getting a complete weatherization, a complete HVAC changeover down at the senior center to heat pumps and air conditioning and cooling, all taken care of through this grant.
Okay.
I'm applying for it, and that's probably gonna be somewhere around $200,000 with weatherization for this building as well.
And what does weatherization entail?
The building envelope,
I know, but
so,
what are they gonna do?
so they're gonna go around all of the windows, the doors,
Like caulking and
seals,
stuff?
cracks,
Okay,
any of the sealants, anything in the attic ways, and, you know, there's going to be, savings there, energy cost savings, for the building as well. So the complete building, weatherization, building envelope for us, Shepherd Building, Senior Center, and then heat pumps, also for the, Senior Center, which would take care of their complete HVAC unit. We're looking at somewhere around 200,000. I've got identified a grant through Green Communities that could potentially cover that. And so the HVAC could be removed from capital planning.
For the
Um,
30,000.
Yeah.
Senior center is a cooling center, am I correct?
Yes.
So that's one thing to keep in mind.
mhm.
With them being a cooling center, they definitely need a working HVAC system.
What's the HVAC system now? Is it gas or electric?
It's gas. It's all gas. The system that we would be putting in potentially would be primarily heat pumps, okay? But there is a gas, redundancy, if I
Okay.
wanna use that word again. There's a gas option that it could switch to if the heating pumps are not
The power goes out.
not pumping up to their standards. So, if they're not, if somebody's in the senior center and saying, geez, it's only like, 60 degrees in here, and, we usually have it at like 65, and it's a really cold day, and heat pumps are not working as strong as they need to be, then the system could kick to the gas, and the gas would bring up the temperature
Is that part of this grant?
part of it, yeah.
Okay. Because the other thing is, what's this gonna do to the electric bill over there?
So the electric bill will go up, the electric bill will go up, but the offset in savings in gas, natural gas, is to, hopefully will compensate for that.
Okay. Well, I mean, that'd be great. What, do you know when you'd find out about the
So the
grant?
grant would need to be submitted by next month.
Okay.
And so I've been working on it. The first thing was for us to get that analysis done, which we did. We got done
Mhm.
through a provider, a recognized provider through Green Communities. And I'm having a call with them Thursday morning, kind of see where we are with everything. I have some follow-up questions with the heat pumps. But, you know, it looks like it's, you know, a lot of communities are moving in this direction. You know, it's a possibility of getting a brand-new HVAC system there. Energy efficient, that's the purpose of this thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, there'd be some reductions and savings there. And they would take out the old HVAC unit. So this would not be a unit on the side anymore, this would be a roof unit.
Mhm.
Hopefully, if we were able to get an earmark to do a new roof, then we'd have a complete building down there.
Mhm.
So we would have the exterior that has been done, you know, in the fall. We'll have weatherization, we'll have new HVAC, potentially a new roof, a really complete unit down there.
Okay, so for the purposes of the spreadsheet, why don't we move these projects into 26? Or just leave them 0 for now?
Yeah.
Well,
What's the timing on the grant?
So the
What do you
grant, if we gotta apply for it in May, we probably won't know until the fall.
Hmm.
And so moving into 26.
Six would be fine.
Would work, okay.
Yeah.
Right, because that's when, if we don't get the grants, that's
Then
when we're gonna
we
do
have
it.
to
'cause
back to the
25
drawing-
is- Yeah,
Back to the
we're
drawing
all
board.
done for 25, so, okay.
Okay.
All right, so now what's all this other stuff for senior center?
Those were the incomplete projects that we didn't get back.
Did we
In
even
red.
look at these though? Water heater
We
loading
turned them,
dock?
we turned them back because they weren't complete, we had no
So
costs
again,
on them.
blank,
They
Yeah,
were
she-
pretty much just the name of the project and
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
any,
Blank.
Update.
I have asked Sharon to get some quotes, I don't know where she is with that, you know,
Okay.
we may wanna bring her in if you want to talk with her, or maybe she's got some quotes now, or,
well, I don't wanna bring her in if she doesn't have anything.
okay, all right.
We're just gonna tell her to go get quotes,
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
yeah, she needs to get those.
yeah.
If she wants us to look at
Mhm.
this stuff.
yeah, I might just take them off the sheet. They're incomplete. I was
Yeah.
hoping we'd have answers today, but
Yeah.
might as well just take them off because why hold up the line for something that we have no information on, none.
Okay. All
It's
right,
up to you though.
I don't know, any opinions? I can go either way, I mean,
And I can leave them on there until we get our final decisions.
Yeah,
Kick them off or kick them out to next year, I guess.
yeah.
We don't even have a cost though.
yeah, we
We
don't
just-
have.
Yeah, but I mean,
Just need to- yeah.
so you could just, you know, say, you know, waiting for cost and,
Yeah.
at some point, this will have to be closed, because this is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. Anything else on senior center? And if not, then let's go to selectmen.
Suppose it's still on schedule.
All right, selectmen we have. All right. So we have looks like 3 projects.
Try to be in there. Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay, so the Shepherd Building repointing. Did you put, yeah, 250, right? Okay.
I said 2 to 250, that's estimated, you know, it could be a little less, could be a little more.
Does that need, what, can we wait on that? Can we fund it over a couple of years? What's the?
Yeah, I mean, we could, you know, potentially look to try to fund it over a couple of years. You could do it in phases, you know. You know, maybe, you know, put.
This side of the building, that
Yeah,
side
do,
of the
do like a
building, yeah.
certain number of feet each year, you know,
Mhm.
to try to phase it in if you'd like. You know, we could talk with a, you know, a project, a registered design professional to see what their recommendation would be if we were to do like a phased approach.
Wouldn't be a bad idea. Do you have any idea how much square feet, is the surface of the building?
I don't.
Okay. If we like divide it by 5 and.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't think you just would wanna do, you would probably wanna do the more critical areas that, you know, where mortar is actually coming off and,
Yeah.
and leaving it in the parking lot. So, you know, that can be, you know, selected by the, you know, registered design professional where to start.
Okay. So what do you need to get that info back to us? You need to meet with somebody?
I need money.
Oh, you gotta hire somebody. Okay.
How much would that cost?
That would probably be within this estimate here, would be all encompassing. You know,
But how much would it cost? for
20
him?
grand,
20 grand for him to, or
To do a
them to
design,
come out?
basically.
yeah,
Right.
to do some type of analysis, I don't,
Design
you know.
and planning.
Maybe a little less.
Well, you wanna do 20K? I mean, it doesn't meet our 25, but the project meets it, so we could do,
We could put 20,000 to FY '25.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then just leave the rest of it for the moment. Right?
I mean, if we
'Cause we
want,
don't
if we wanna
know.
get a registered, I mean, if we're seriously thinking about this project, and we need to get a registered design engineer, then I say we need to put it in here, cause the project's gonna be 250.
Well, you could put 250 in 26.
Well, I mean, yeah, it
Is that
doesn't
what
matter,
you're saying?
it doesn't well, no, I was gonna spread it out over 4 years.
Oh,
Do
okay.
20,000 for the design, it doesn't matter, cause it's not actually gonna change.
You could also, you know, say, put a smaller portion in this year, and then, you know, depending on the financial stability and, you know, where we are with finances, instead of doing a 4-year project, maybe we could do it in 3 or 2. You know, it can be moved around after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
How, and I know you're saying it's just an estimate, but how accurate do you think that 20,000 is gonna be for design planning?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I mean, it could be a little less, could be a little bit more.
wait, is there any way to get an estimate?
I mean, you know, I guess I can try to call some people to get them here, but I don't know, you know, when they could be here. They're not gonna come here tomorrow, I can tell you that. You know, maybe they'll come, you know, in a month, maybe they'll come in 2 weeks, I don't know. I mean, I can ask.
Well, you mean to actually do it, or just to give
No,
us
to
an
give
estimate on doing it?
estimate, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
And my question, my reason for questioning that was, maybe we should go with the 25. So you have,
25,000?
yeah,
Okay.
I don't think
I-
it makes much of a difference, because it's the whole project.
I'm not understanding something here. To get someone in here to assess the condition of the building for repointing and repairing needed brickwork that is beyond just repointing, but needs repair, replacement. Just to assess that and provide a
estimate?
engineering plan to tell
Well,
us.
you're gonna have to pay for the engineering plan. You can have them come in and give you just an estimate, yeah, that's gonna be free, but that's
Yeah.
gonna be, again, it's a ballpark.
Right,
If you want a thorough, complete, evaluation done of the building, they're gonna charge you for that.
okay.
Of like what areas need to be done first.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
so
he's
the
gonna,
stage
they're
out.
gonna do like almost like a little bit of a study and develop some plans and to tell you, well, you should probably start over here because water's intruding over here.
Yeah.
You know, there's significant mortar that has been removed, you know.
And then you'd get your phased.
Right, and what you're thinking of,
Approach.
is like a motor company or a company coming in here and saying, okay, this is what we gotta do, that's what we gotta do, and go to town and start laying the brick or the mortar,
Yeah.
cleaning out joints and stuff like that. That's a whole different, that's on the construction side of it. Okay, that's
Okay.
after you've done the design and everything else.
Yeah, okay. Ignorance is showing here, I'm not, I'm not,
I
I'm
think it's
questioning
because
it.
it's a big building.
Yeah,
If it was a house,
yeah,
you
It's
could
different.
probably have somebody come in and say, 10 grand, we can
Yeah,
do it.
I mean,
in-"
this is a commercial, public building.
Yeah, so there's a lot to it, right?
yeah. Okay.
That's why commercial, public, construction projects are not cheap.
Mm. Yep.
I mean, I think if we're going to talk about phasing it in and doing it in stages and work, it's probably beneficial to know what are the biggest problem areas to get done first, so we're not just soaking money
Mhm.
into a bad, chasing good money after bad, you know?
Yep.
I mean, I could say start at the south side of the building, but the north side needs it the most. I'm not an
Yeah.
expert in that, I don't
Yeah.
know. You know, that's why you need somebody that's gonna be able, that's qualified to tell you that.
But then it lets us do the phase thing, because they
Mhm.
can say, you give it a 1, 2, 3, or a 4.
Mm-hmm.
We do all the ones, areas,
Mhm.
we do the 2 areas the next
Mhm.
year, we do the 3 areas the next year, and then we
Mhm.
do the 4. This is 20 years of life, so
Mm-hmm.
spreading it out over 4 years is fine,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, any questions on that? Okay, so you wanna do 25 grand?
I would think.
Just to be
25,
safe?
Yeah, cause I think it's
Alright,
gonna be
so-
more than 25.
Throw that in.
Would that
Oh,
include?
see, FY 25 just went down by a bit. Now we're just a little over 1 million.
Would that include assessing the roof?
No.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
That's another whole ballgame all.
Yeah.
Yeah, why isn't that?
Brick guys don't do the roof.
Is that,
You
But
don't
an
want the
engineer,
brick guys.
but an
to-
engineer would, it
oh,
seems
is
to
that
me
a
that
flat
they would.
roof?
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's no knee wall around the outside?
yeah, there's a knee wall.
Okay, cause you want that part, that portion of the building evaluated too, cause your roof does connect to that.
Yeah. If we're getting someone to come in here and assess the structure of this building, it has to include the roof.
It's not the structure, this is for
Just the brick.
just the brick.
Okay. I'm talking out of my league here, I don't know,
What I'm saying is that the apron or the knee wall around the roof perimeter, the roof sits down, it's usually a 4
Right.
foot high wall. Okay, the roof comes up to that, curls over and attaches,
right,
okay? So when you when you have the guy come in, he's gotta look at that whole 4 foot.
So, but can
elevation.
the brick guy look at that part of it?
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, that'd be the masonry.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you gotta make sure that when
That gets done,
it's not a flat roof, it's a knee wall.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Computer updates, wage. Okay, so computer updates is the next thing.
So, this is an estimate, okay? We recently changed IT providers to save money. So I will be working with, our new IT provider come July 1, to, look at this list, and to get the exact, costs of replacement, but these were, this list of replacements were provided to me by our current IT provider, which you can see that, a lot of these are quite old, so the age of these units won't change. The need of replacing them won't change, just the cost. And they were very similar in pricing as our current IT provider, so,
But we've also talked about leasing.
leasing
maybe,
them, yeah, yeah.
Right, so there's a
So,
number of,
There's
ways
a
to do
possibility
this.
of leasing as well. So I plan on getting a more detailed price from our IT provider come July 1. But I would estimate, a phased rollout of this maybe, and looking for somewhere between 25 to 35,000.
so right away, this is 26, right? Unless we wanna allocate money.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, you could do some of them right now. These were the ones that have the most critical need.
Or maybe, I don't know, do we wanna, we could take this over 3 years, maybe?
Yeah,
Well, this doesn't include police, right?
police are their own thing, yep, yep.
So we are, okay, because originally when we looked at it, police had a request for
And I thought we
computers
pushed it
and,
to this.
right, you had said it was included in
Um,
this,
No, I think police, they're doing their own,
so we need to
Yeah, 'cause they get a
relook,
different
Yeah.
vendor, don't they?
yeah, yeah.
so we need to
Pull
relook.
out your police notes.
All right, police department.
I don't know how much because they're not on our system, maybe I found out after the fact, that they're not on, our managed IT system. So they're not rated in terms of replacement, or if they are, then they have a separate rating. Was the police one?
Here's the note I had.
That's what I had, selectmen request.
Yeah,
Okay, all right, so,
But that would bump this up to,
twice that.
60 to 100 or
Yeah.
75,000.
Okay.
Um,
So maybe initially I was mistaken about after speaking with the chief, where they are. They're on their own for their computers. How much was their request, Ray?
35 to 40.
Okay, all right. Because they're managed separately.
Can I get a copy of that one before we leave?
They wouldn't be part of, is it entree?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that has to go on the sheet then separately.
Sorry about that.
Aren't they managed separately, because aren't they tied into the regional?
Rutland.
Yeah, but that's,
That's dispatch,
is
that's
that,
not their
that's
computer
just their
system.
dispatch, not their,
Yeah.
yeah,
IT, they use the same IT provider as Rutland.
Yeah.
okay. And did we look at that to see if they could,
The chief didn't want to change.
he didn't want to change, okay, so we,
Yeah, because when we brought entree in, right?
Mhm.
Maybe they're getting a better deal because the
The-
company handles everybody, what are there, 4 towns? And
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so they're probably getting a
then
bulk
let's,
discount.
all right, well, then it sounds like we need to reincorporate
Yeah,
police IT request into,
I'll get a copy.
Our
I
lease.
don't seem to have my copy, but I'll get a copy before we leave
Okay.
of that one, if
Okay.
you don't mind.
right.
Now, is this all of the computers?
No,
Okay, so
just the ones that are listed below. the
So
back.
these ones here are
Right.
the 25 to 30,000
Right,
that need to be updated.
right. So
And how long is
there's-
it, 5 to 7 year useful life on a computer?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
I would say no more than 5 years on a computer.
It would be better not to, especially with all the nasty stuff that's out there. Right?
So I guess
I mean, even with
Maybe-
updates.
maybe determine how many computers we have.
So there's 20 on the
Schedule.
list that are definite replacements.
So if we do 6 or 7 a year,
Well, this isn't all of our computers.
That's not all of them, no.
So do we have a count of how many computers we have?
Yeah, I think, around, I wanna say, between 35 and 40 devices.
So, which would track to, you know, eight every year for 5 years. And you said how many
you
need
know, we just
replacing?
start all over again.
About 20.
20, yeah, I mean, 25, we're gonna have to, I mean, that's something I think that's important for security purposes.
Mhm. And I mean, just, I know
Efficiency.
like Corinne's computer was terrible. Like you turn it on and you walk away and, you know,
3 hours
10 minutes
it turns
later.
on.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Mhm.
ridiculous,
That
right?
is-
I mean, how can
that
anybody
is.
work like that?
So it's never, there was never a, you know, a program to replace these,
No.
you know, in
Mhm.
town. And, you know, these ones on the list are not gonna be supported by,
Yeah.
majority of them are not gonna be supported by Windows 11 capability. You know,
Yeah.
some of these are fourth generation computers, second generation computers.
Yeah, we need to get rid of them.
So,
This is kind of why I keep mentioning leasing,
Mhm.
because they would just sunset after so many years and we
And
get
then
a
they
new
automatically
one.
change them.
Yeah,
however, we have to be very careful with the hard drives. We would need to retain hard drives. We couldn't
Yeah,
let
that's
those
fine.
be,
Yeah.
go with the lease.
that would, yeah, that would be part of it. Yep, either retain them or destroy them.
So how would that work for a capital outlay if we lease? Do you still need upfront costs?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I would imagine that there's some type of, you know, initial cost for setup or something,
Yeah, installation, you mean?
setting them up, yeah.
Yeah, there would be. Did you get a feel for what any one of these would cost new? Is it like $1,000, $800?
I would say around $1,200 to $1,500
Each.
a desktop, yeah.
Okay,
That seems pricey.
Is that's fully set up and everything?
Yep. Yep. Because I just did one for Corinne.
yeah, what was that one?
And the unit was $1,015. Did not come with a monitor. I bought a monitor at Amazon for $225. The monitor didn't come with a webcam, so you buy a webcam for $75. By the time you're done, you know, you're about $1,500.
Yeah,
I just bought a brand new laptop too, and the laptop cost me $2,000.
yeah, laptops are gonna be more expensive,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
That just seems pricey for a whole setup. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think that that's
I mean, if you,
pricey and I
well,
don't
I
know if
mean,
there's
we
any
can see what
packages, yeah.
Entree says, but if you go too low, you're gonna end up with a crappy computer. That would be my only fear.
So
Or
the
it's gonna come
computer
with-
that we put in for conservation was the same type of computer that the rest of the building had. It's the standard issued Dell
Yeah,
with the same, you know, upgraded speeds as modern efficiencies are. And that was bought through Northeast IT. Northeast IT's monitor was more pricier than Amazon, so, you know. But Entree, they're on the state bid list, so when you buy with them, you're gonna they're already, you know, have the, state contracted prices.
I mean, I don't know what, a monitor is a place where you could save a little bit of money. I would
Yeah.
think a monitor would last
Mhm.
well past what you wanna keep a computer for, potentially, but.
Yeah, and,
So-
and we matched the monitor, so Corinne, so the conservation agent had a Dell monitor with a Dell, you know, Dell
Yeah.
computer. You know, that's kind of what we wanna do, have matching units, you know, they're all
Yeah,
the
you
same.
don't have to though.
Yeah.
You just need a HDMI monitor or, you know,
Mhm.
get an Asus or whatever.
All right. So there's 20 that are tagged for immediate replacement
Mhm.
because they're either not compatible or not.
Mhm.
Okay, not supported.
Mhm.
But we wanna make sure that we can get support for our computers if they go down.
Mhm.
And then 8 units, what is this, at 8 units per year thereafter?
Hmm.
Do you wanna put that on the capital plan, to plan for 20 units and 25?
Okay,
And what
so
did you just calculate that, is that 24,000?
at 1,200, optimistic, the lower end, times 20, right, it's 1,200. So where is computer updates? So 2,400, 24,000
And then 8 times, so 8 units thereafter.
times what, 1,200? So that's not bad, so
Yeah.
call it 10, right? Well, no, let's keep it like that. Right? So by 28, if we're doing a purchase,
Yeah, leasing will fall into capital planning.
right. So that would get us, these would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we'd have to start replacing again
In 25,
in 29,
I'm
in
sorry.
30.
29, so we'd have a gap year.
Yeah, but maybe we'd wanna start, like, the assessor, you know, some of the higher used computer, your computer, accounting, you know?
Well, you wanna address, you know,
These,
those
these
ones.
20, yeah,
Oh, police?
no, the
The
20.
list.
the-
Oh, no,
the
yeah, but
20.
I'm
That's
saying
up front.
in 29.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
When we
And
could
we-
have a
we can-
gap year, it
and
would
we
probably
can-
be better to,
Mhm.
replace computers that are used more.
If
Yeah.
we
And-
know
frequently.
they could.
And I will talk to Entree to see what they have for leasing options, to see what, you know, what they could potentially do. And, you know, see if they could put something together of some quotes for us sooner rather than later.
So
Yeah.
if we took everything and converted it to a lease in the building, got rid of all the old stuff, would it still not be capital planning? Because it's a lease? I mean, it would be a significant amount of money, but it's not a
Well,
lease.
it could be a capital outlay upfront,
Mhm.
and then.
That's what I'm saying,
And then put
yeah.
over, right,
Mhm.
so it'd be a one hit.
Yeah,
Or,
and then spread out.
Which would
or,
be
or
sig-
maybe you do the critical ones this year, you do the remaining portion next year. Let that be a capital outlay of
I-
$30,000, $40,000, whatever it would be.
Mhm.
And now it's under a lease and it's now done under IT maintenance.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think either way, we shouldn't replace all of them at the same time.
R-
That's
right,
never
we
good
probably don't need-
practice, even under a lease.
No, I'm just trying to, because capital
I'd have to see the
planning
lease,
is truly
Yeah,
capital purchases, and a
Right.
lease is not.
exactly.
But can we still call it,
but that initial upfront cost for the lease,
well, that's kind of where I'm getting at, yeah.
I mean, maybe they could do all 40 computers for $28,000. And then you have an ongoing lease,
Payment after that.
but the upfront cost might be 28,000. I don't know what it would be. That's
Yeah,
what-
I don't know,
what-
yeah.
Although if it's a lease, then it's 28,000 a year for the next 3 to 5 years. I mean, there'd be like setup fees, I guess, so, but still.
Yeah.
Your lease price is gonna be the same, like the printers we have, they're 1,100
Okay,
or something every, month, just a constant payment.
Okay, as opposed to an upfront lease fee where you get.
Yeah, you
So-
wouldn't, yeah,
So basically, my impression would be that the leasing company, basically, you get a large basically you get a large upfront cost, and then you get a monthly payment,
right,
or a yearly, in our case, a yearly payment.
or monthly, but yeah, but it should be the same,
Okay,
unless we.
I've never leased a computer, but,
No.
Yeah, but it would, like the printers and copiers in here. So that's 1,100-ish a month. And day one, it was 1,100,
That's
they
how they
came
did it?
in,
Okay.
they set them all up, 1,100, you know, month after month.
okay.
Rich, I have to leave, I have an appointment I have to get to.
Okay.
Okay.
But maybe I can fill in with Dawn tomorrow.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
probably don't have too much more to go in.
Thanks,
All
Jim.
right, thanks, guys.
All right,
Have a good night.
You too.
all right, well, for the moment, I put in 24,000,
Okay,
and then I put in 9,600 for the following 3 years.
okay.
Which might get us a full turnover, right?
Minus the police, yeah.
We don't know.
That's what Jim's, I mean, I'm only going off of what Jim says is our
Right.
total. I don't know.
And do we have?
Do we wanna just get the line in there for the police? It's,
Well, I was gonna make all these changes after.
oh, okay, all right.
I'm
Sorry.
just
Otherwise,
doing
you'll
it
have to
now.
email it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm forgetting that Rich is working on his version of it, and you.
I'm just doing this now so we get a
So
feel
we
for
can
what it.
get the sense,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And on the police, if they're saying that their computers, they're saying 10 years, they replaced everything in 2018, so their computers are only 6 years old. So even if we did 7 years, we got at least a year to play with to get them up to speed.
Yeah.
And they've only got 7 desktops and 4 cruiser tablets. Now, I know those cruiser tablets probably have some special, but, you know, they're, what's that called? They're probably customized a little bit with hardened case and all that kind of good stuff.
Special
But that's still not
software.
gonna make it's still not gonna make it a $4,000 unit. So even at $2,000 times 11, that's only $22,000.
Mhm.
So I don't understand this 35 to 40 request.
So maybe we ask that of them.
Yeah, so that's something Jim can follow up with Chief
Yeah.
Millet about.
We need to
But
bring
it's,
them in.
in any case, it's, so we can reincorporate it, it's not deferred to the select board. I think the request is gonna be much less than 35 to 40, and we've got at least a year to play with.
Mhm.
Problem on those is gonna be the software.
Yeah, we need to find out
And I
how,
think that's why the price is the way it is.
it could be,
The software
it could be.
development. Yeah, it could be.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. I think the desktops wouldn't be so extraordinarily unique, the
Ones
cruiser,
that indicate it's which cruises.
the cruiser ones, yeah, maybe they are,
Yeah.
they may be $4,000 a pop, it's possible, so,
Okay.
or more, I just don't know, so
Yeah.
I should be quiet, so I will.
All right,
Typically,
but-
they have a different, software system.
Yeah, so we need to find out the nature of
Because they
that.
have access to the,
Yeah.
DGJIS system, which is the Department of Justice.
So for like arrest records. and
Yeah, to pull in all
warrants
the-
and-
RMV and all that, so they
Right.
can pull, all
Yeah.
that's specialized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's probably a fortune, so we'll find out.
All right, how about wage classification / compensation study? So I have to say, and I mentioned this in the board meeting, select board meeting, to me, this doesn't, it's not capital planning, so.
I completely agree.
There's nothing capital about it.
Useful life is only 3 years, so you're only
Yeah,
looking
it's-
to do the plan for 3 years, and it's not
It's-
I don't think it's a
right.
capital item.
It's a service essentially.
I agree, I agree.
So
Okay.
I think we can. And it's gonna get funded by a grant.
It's,
most
I thought there
likely.
was a grant
Anyway.
going towards it anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
So
so.
we don't need to consider it.
No, okay.
not capital, you know.
All right, so to recap, we're waiting on something from sewer. We need a little more information from the police. And then a little more information from Entree. All of the plan would be to allocate some money for FY '25 for computers anyway, right, just in case?
Yep.
Okay. All right, and I'm gonna set that aside for you.
Thank you.
All right, so, I mean, maybe we're kinda set for today then, right? You're gonna update the sheet,
Mhm.
send it out.
Do we wanna talk about the priority ratings as far as how we want to determine an A, B, and C? Like what numerical value equals what A, B, or C? Or do we want to go back and everybody rate them based on the criteria and then let's see where it falls?
I think that would probably be better. Like, I'll let everyone think about it and go through their own exercise of
Okay.
doing this
Okay.
and see where it shakes out.
Right, so maybe by next week, everybody will have their answer,
Yep.
cause we.
Because
we've gotta get
eventually, we're
this-
gonna have to come up with one set of numbers out of 5 people.
Right,
So,
right.
we're gonna have a whole
That's okay.
meeting on arguing about whether it's a 1 or a 2, right? No, it's a 3, it should be a 3, no.
2.4.
Yeah. Okay,
What's next on your agenda, cause I have,
that's pretty much it.
okay,
So we went through the projects, continued discussion on the spreadsheet, the requests. Yeah,
has anyone heard anything from the school?
in terms of capital planning,
Yes.
no, not that I know of, unless Jim has.
Supposedly Jim has, but
Okay.
that's, it's too bad he had to go. So I could have asked him point blank again, but the school apparently had submitted some requests to the selectmen. I don't know,
Oh,
that
okay.
probably meant to Jim, I don't know. But I just wanna raise it because it should be in our list.
Mm-hmm.
For Warren,
Right,
For
and it
just
was,
a-
Warren's
right, it
portion.
would be a whole
Yeah.
thing to sort out
Mhm. Done it
the
before.
high school stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
That's not difficult.
But, so if you just wanna put a stub in, just
For
so there's a lot, just so you have it.
right, so we
Just,
don't forget it.
You know, just so we, like you have some of these, you know, in red, you know, what,
Mhm.
we don't have any details right now, but I did make a request that they resubmit those requests. I asked that they resubmit it to both Jim and you as the head of the capital planning committee.
Yeah,
So you should be getting an email,
okay,
so,
I haven't seen it, all right.
all right,
Oh, and one other, so can you take the number,
Yes,
pull the hard code number out?
Yep.
Okay,
I already have
cool.
it on my notes, so I will
Alright,
do that,
thank
so that we
you.
can just change that number and it will be
Yeah.
very
Excellent.
clear what it is.
Yeah,
good.
Yep, can do, no problem.
all right, anything else? When do we wanna meet next? Do we wanna meet next Tuesday?
I think so.
The 16th?
That should work for me,
Okay,
yeah, I think so. At 4?
4:00? All right. So we will meet next Tuesday, the 16th at 4:00.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Rick Capaco, aye,
Don Swistaka, aye.
Rich Ihacker, aye. We are adjourned.
at